Hello, this is Vikas. The topic I'm going to discuss is about causes and effects of air pollution. I'm from CSC Data Science. It's a concept video about causes and effects of air pollution. Now let's go into the introduction. Now let's first discuss about what is air pollution. Air pollution may be defined as the presence in the air, outdoor atmosphere of one or more contaminated or combination thereof in such quantities and of such duration as may be or tend to be injurious to human animal or plant life or property, or which unreasonably interferes with the comfortable enjoyment of life or property or conduct of businesses. Now we have discussed about the definition of air pollution. It says that air pollution can be defined as the presence in the air. It is like presence in the air, like it may be indoor or outdoor atmosphere, mainly of outdoor atmosphere, which the contaminants which are injurious to humans, animals, or property, or which unreasonably interferes with the comfortable enjoyment of human life. This is the definition of air pollution. Now let's go into sources of air pollution. There are two types of sources of air pollution. One are natural and man-made. In natural, like some of the air pollution examples were given, which causes air pollution, that is of dust storms, volcanoes, lighting, and etc. And the ones which are man-made are industrial activities, automobile exhaust, agricultural, domestic conditions. Now, pollutants of air, like till now we have discussed about sources of air pollution. Now let's discuss about pollutants of air. Particulate pollutants. Water particulate pollutants. Let's go discuss. Particulate pollutants are solids or liquids with size of less than 100 microns that remain suspended in the atmosphere. Like particulate pollutants are solids or liquids with size less than 100 microns that remain suspended in atmosphere. Examples are like dust, fumes, smoke, mist, fog, bacteria. Now gases, toxic and poisonous. Gases are like toxic and poisonous. Example CO, carbon monoxide, chlorine, NH3 ammonia, H2S hydrogen sulfide, SO2 sulfur dioxide, N2 nitrogen oxide, CO2 carbon dioxide. Like CO, chlorine, NH3, H2S, SO2, NO2, CO2. These all are like toxic and poisonous in nature. Like when they are released into the air, they are like toxic. And methane is also like toxic one. And point and non-point sources. Like what are examples of point and non-point sources we'll be discussing here when we go to the when we are in the present slide. Point sources, crushers, factories, etc. Like examples of point sources are crushers, factories, and etc. Non-point sources are like mobile sources. In mobile sources, vehicles, road traffic, aircraft emission, etc. Now, when we go to the next slide, will be discussing about major pollutants. Like what are major pollutants which are been causing damage to the air and causes air pollution. Like major pollutants are one is ozone, transient damage, permanent damage, accelerated aging of the lung. Ozone. Ozone is like it is damaging very lot, and the other one is like carbon monoxide, which causes heart diseases, lung diseases, CNS, central nervous system, response to extreme external stimuli, Symptoms similar to flu. Normal individual during strenuous work. Nitrogen dioxide. Till now, we have discussed about major pollutant. In the major pollutants part, we have discussed about ozone, carbon monoxide. And the next one we are going to discuss about is nitrogen dioxide. What are the short-term and long-term damages which occur due to nitrogen oxide dioxide being released to air is are the one which we are going to discuss in this PPT in this slide. In fact, short-term respiratory infections trigger asthma, lung function, respiratory irritation. Like respiratory infections are like short-term and long-term are chronic damage. Suspension of suppression of immune system, ability to fight of bacterial and viral infections, body's ability to generate antibodies, abilities to remove foreign particles. Till now we have discussed about ozone, carbon monoxide and nitrogen dioxide. Next we are going to discuss is about lead. Lead, nerve damage, anemia, kidney damage, high blood pressure. Now sulfur dioxide, trigger asthma especially in children. Like sulfur dioxide when released into air, when children breathe it, there might be a problem of trigger asthma, especially in children. Sulfur dioxide affects adults and children differently, and that chronic and acute effects may also be different. Particulate matter, cancer, asthmatic attacks in children, eye and throat irritation, headache, lightheadedness, nausea, lung inflammation. Primary and secondary pollutants. We'll be going to discuss about primary and secondary pollutants and two types of pollutants. Primary pollutants put directly into the atmosphere by human or natural activity. Like primary pollutants are put directly into the atmosphere by human or natural activity. Secondary pollutant forms in the atmosphere by chemical reactions with primary pollutants, air or both. An example would be ground level ozone. Like example of secondary pollutant is like ground level ozone. Now let's discuss about ground level ozone. Emissions from car react with the UV rays and then mix with the O2 in the atmosphere. Now effects of air pollution and global warming. Rising sea level. Rising sea level, change of precipitation in local climate condition, acid rain, alteration of forests and crop yield, alteration of forests and crop yields, expansion of deserts into existing rangelands, more intense rainstorms. Not all long-term effects can be determined. Environmental effects of air pollution, like ecosystem effects, property damage, quality of life effects, global climate change. Like when we discuss about major pollutants, we have discussed about ozone, carbon monoxide, nitrogen dioxide, lead, and sulfur dioxide. And particulate matter like cancer and etc. There are two types of pollutants, primary and secondary pollutants. We have discussed about that and causes and effects of global warming. Till now, we have discussed about all these things. Before that, what is particulate pollutants and what is source of pollutants like natural and man-made, and the definition of air pollution. Now, when we go to the next slide, environmental effects of air pollution. What are the environmental effects of air pollution? First point, effect ecosystem effects, property damage, quality of life effects, global climatic change. There are four effects on environment because of air pollution. The first one is like ecosystem effect, and the second one is property damage, and third one is global climate change, And at last, it's about quality of life effects. What is being done? Alternatives. Like, what are the alternatives to reduce air pollution? Like, one alternative is renewable energy source. First figure is about solar energies. Second one is wind power. Third one is biomass. And fourth one is geothermal. These are four types of energies. Solar energy is morely used in nowadays. Changes in vehicle system. Like vehicle systems are also being changed. The first one is hybrid, fuel, and battery electrical. Particulate pollutants, cyclone, bag filters, scrubbers, electrostatic precipitate, ESP. Now cyclone. Now like particulate pollutants are like cyclone, bag filters, scrubbers, and ESP. So first let's discuss about cyclone. Cyclone, rotating motion of gas stream generates a centrifugal force and throws the particulate outside radically towards the wall. Gas moves up from inner portion of the cyclone chamber. Particulate slides down the cyclone and are collected. Centrifugal force of particulate separation factor depends upon inlet velocity and radius of cyclone as v square by gr. Efficiency increases when the diameter of cyclone is less. Cyclone have an efficiency range from 60 to 90%, but may not effectively remove particles of less than 20 microns. No moving parts can be easily installed for handling large volume of gases. Performance of cyclone is affected by temperature of influent gas, variation flow velocity and volume, humidity condition, shape, size of influent, particle concentration. This is the table of this. Now ESP, electrostatic precipitator, used in cement, power and metallurgical industries, high capability to treat large gas flows under high temperature, corrosive environment, removal of submicron particles, effective gas passes in high electrical fields and gets ionized, negative charge particles move towards positive charge collecting electrodes and attached to the surface. Now when we go to the next one, two steps while using the precipitator to set up an electrical field between the electrodes for the formation of ions, to charge the particles and the electrodes oppositely to create migration and attachment to particles. When we go to the next slide, steps involved in ESP. Impart electrostatic charge to particles, create electric field in flow region. Particles develop force of attraction. Particles migrate towards oppositely charged electrodes. Electrodes collect the impurities. Particulate dust is removed by shaking electrodes. Dry particulate matter is collected in the hopper below. Two ESPs. Pipe and plate type. In pipe type, discharge electrode is a wire suspended in the pipe with sufficient weights to maintain the position. Precipitation takes place on inner wall surface and etc. Now, when we go to the one, effects of air pollution and global warming. Like, what are the effects of air pollution? The first one is sea level is rising due to the global warming, sorry, air pollution, change of precipitation and local climate condition, acid rain. Like acid rains are becoming more due to the air pollution, and the ozone layer is also opening out. And third point is alteration of forests and crop yields, expansion of deserts into existing rangelands, more intense rainstorms. Not all long-term effects can be determined. Now let's discuss about what are the causes. The one which is caused due to this ozone, carbon monoxide, nitrogen dioxide, lead, sulfur dioxide. And like why are this happening is because of automobile exhausts. Like cars are being used more, and the pollution which is coming out from cars is like very large, and from the factories and etc. and farming industry, like it's becoming more day by day. So the pollution is also increasing due to that. But in major in the like cities, they are preferring to use CNG because to control air pollution. Like CNG is like will reduce the air pollution by lots of percent. But in major cities, the air pollution is becoming more day by day. Due to this reason only, because of more of vehicles are being used, like they are not using the public transport, rather they are using private transport. So they are using a lot of transport. So that's why this is the cause. They are causing a lot of air pollution, and the ozone layer is also depleting due to that. That's the main point, because for the cause of acid rains and the sulfur dioxide, lead, nitrogen dioxide, ozone, and carbon monoxide. These are like affect people in lots of ways. Like sulfur dioxide triggers asthma, especially in children. So these are like lots of ways. Now, more intense rainstorms are also coming due to the air pollution. Like because of air pollution, more intense rainstorms are coming. Not all long-term effects can be determined. Thank you. Thank you for one and all. And I'm going to close. Thank you.